Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Now then, folks, just wanted to have a quick chat about yesterday's performance. Unbelievable. And if I've got you with thumbnail, it's not clickbait. But honestly, what the fuck were they talking about? And who do I mean by they? I mean the media. I mean the lazy media. It is absolute tripe they put out at times. When you look at the newly promoted sides this season, and let's be honest, it's not just because Leeds are in it. A lot of us looked at the newly promoted sides, especially with the business Sunderland did. Burnley having Scott Parker, who's fairly solid at the back, as we know. We all looked at it and all thought, you know, the three promoted sides had a massive opportunity this season to stay up. You look at some of the sides in there, obviously Brentford bringing in Keith Andrews. Did all right yesterday, thank God. But we look at the situation of the other side, you know, Wolves losing players, and we thought it would be a bit more of an even playing field this season. I think it's come to fruition. All the sides we thought, us basic human beings who aren't journalists, who aren't pundits, who are just regular people, we all pinpointed West Ham, Wolves, Brentford, Forest. A lot of these names got mentioned, and guess what? They are struggling. A long way to go. Don't get me wrong. You don't win titles. You don't win promotions. You don't save relegations at this. You know, after 6 games a season, but a pattern starts to form. A trend starts to set in. You can see the good teams. You can see the good players. You can see the philosophies of the sides and the managers, and they talk absolute tripe. And it is just lazy journalism. So seriously, when they've just, you know, turned around and said Leeds will go down, Sunderland will struggle, and Burnley will go down, and like I say, it's just down to the narrative that's been pushed for the last 2 seasons. You know, you look at last season, you had Tottenham finish 17th, you had Scum finish 16th, but the gap were massive for relegation side. You know, they weren't even in a relegation battle at 16th or 17th. I tell you what, this season, it may be that 13th, 14th, 15th will probably in a relegation battle. It's going to be, I think, a handful of teams down there. I don't think there's going to be 3 cut adrift. I'd like to think there will be, and none of them will be Leeds, but I'm not too sure there will be too many sides cut adrift. I think it'll be a tough season, and I just love how the newly promoted sides, and I think we've got it all as a fan base. There's a little bit of bite in there. There should be as well with, you know, rivalries. Definitely a little bit of bite between Leeds and Sunderland and stuff. I see that, but I also think there's a little bit of unity there in the 3 promoted sides. Who I'd love nothing more than all 3 promoted sides to stay up. And there'll be people on here comment and say they don't agree with that. That's fine. But I want to sort of stick it to the man, as I say, you know. And sort of, I'd love three established Premier League sides to go down. I would absolutely love that. I'd love nothing more than all 3 to stay up. So, yeah, the amount of bullshit we've been fed, I think you can see in the football we're playing, in the results and football Sunderland are getting, and even the way Burnley, you know, apart from yesterday, took Man City deep into that game, still in the game as well. Floodgates open, sometimes that happens. Hopefully that doesn't knock Burnley's confidence. Hopefully it does win the playoffs, but you know what I'm getting at. But I think you can see, you know, each team's got a style, they've got a philosophy, the manager are getting the players to do what's indeed needed to stay in the division, and I'm so pleased for what I saw yesterday at Elland Road. Yeah, it didn't go our way in terms of getting the 3 points. Would we have took a point beforehand? Yes. And you know, on this channel, I'll be always transparent. I can be quite negative at times when it's a negative result. A draw, a last-minute equaliser against us is a negative result to a degree. And it's an overriding positive, getting a point against Bournemouth. It's a great point. But it's the way we played. Like, I can't be negative if I see the boys not only trying hard, because you've got to do that as a footballer. I expect everyone to try hard, and you know, when they pick up the pay packets, I expect them all to have earned it and deserve it. But I feel like the football we're playing, like I've been critical of Farker at times, I loved how we played yesterday, He had us playing some really, really nice, tidy football. The way we kept the ball, but in tight areas, we were able to progress and pass it through the lines and create opportunities. Honestly, there were moments in yesterday's play where I was stood there like with my mouth open, shocked at what I was seeing. I thought it was one of the best games of football we've played in a long, long time. I absolutely loved it. And for me, going forward, I just want to see that more. I talk about it quite often about Farke, we all know can be pragmatic at times, sometimes a little bit too negative at times. I've seen some people question his subs yesterday. I get it. You always can criticise subs if they come on and we concede a goal. But for me, I sort of understood it. Aronson had got tired legs. Metcha for DCL is the obvious choice. Bring someone on who does something similar. I think Tanaka coming out on the right wing, he's been a bit overhyped because he ain't a winger. He's never going to play big minutes on wing, but I think to come in and try and just have another midfielder in that sort of area, it comes from a set piece. 2 set pieces do us yesterday. You're playing against a fluid Bournemouth side who were brilliant to watch on the eye. Brilliantly coached, great at the back, great going forward, and 2 set pieces did us. And defensively, we look better. Defending set piece, I think we've looked better. I ain't going to throw the baby out with the bathwater because we conceded a last-minute equaliser. That ball comes in, it is a stroke of fortune. The guy gets his head on it, he wants it a little bit more than Strauch. He gets his head on it, and it just ends up in a position where he's just there to put it away. And it's a great finish. And they get what they don't deserve. And that's 2 games now this season in recent weeks. Fulham away and Bournemouth at home, where we've come out with a points total in those 2 games that we didn't deserve to come out with. Nothing at Fulham and only 1 point at home. And there's an argument to say there we dropped 2. Unfortunately, obviously, that we deserved, and obviously dropped 1 at Fulham. So that's 3 points more we'd have had at this point, and we'd be right up there, mixing with sides at top of division. So I think I can't be negative when all I'm seeing is positives at the minute. The last couple of games have been brilliant. We're now scoring goals. That was the main negative, the overriding negative this season has been scoring goals. Now we look like we can score at every opportunity. Bogle is getting forward, he's playing balls in behind, he's looking deadly. Goodmanson on that left-hand side, I cannot sing that guy's praises enough. I think he's going to be one of the signings of the season in the division. I think he's absolutely top draw. For the money we paid for him, I'm over the moon. He's a Leeds United player. Sean Longstaff, again, showing why Tanaka probably shouldn't be starting. I didn't think Tanaka would end up behind Longstaff in the pecking order. 100% he is at the minute. 100%. And that's not just down to the goal. I thought Longstaff were outstanding. I'm loving the change up on the set piece takers, the corner takers. Longstaff, we've said before, he's stacked the best at delivering a dead ball. Maybe. But if he is, it must only be marginal. You should be able to have every player on that pitch should be able to put the ball into an area for, your big boys to attack in the box, and ultimately having Stack in the box, being one of the biggest really of the team, is a massive advantage. And Longstaff takes the corners, and ultimately someone gets their head on him. Joe Rodon doesn't score many, gets his head on a delivery from Longstaff, and I thought his corners, bar maybe 1, were really good all game. I'm loving the licence he had. I think you're going to see this in home games. He's going to have more of a licence to attack. Away from home, he isn't going to be as much, but he's been known in previous seasons for Newcastle, going back a few. He can get goals, he can get assists, he can be a creative player, and he has got a shot on him. He is a midfielder who can shoot in and around the box. So I'd love that message to be clearer and more frequent. Longstaff, we've seen what you can do. Keep getting forward, keep creating these moments where if there's a ball ricocheting, just hit it, put your laces through it, like all good box-to-box midfielders should be able to do. And if that means Tanaka, he's going to have to be an impact player off the bench. That's it for now. I think you cannot take Longstaff out the side. He's the heartbeat of that midfield at the minute, and I'm absolutely loving him, watching him play. It's a joy. The messages I'm getting on social media of footage I put on of Newcastle fans speaking about Longstaff and saying he's one of his own. Look after him, he's doing well. We're gutted he's gone. Nobody speaks more highly of Longstaff than the Newcastle lot, and that says a lot, the measure of the man, and a lot of them didn't want to see him go, and I think for the money we paid for him, again, one of the signs of the season come the end of the year, we'll all be talking about Longstaff, Goodmanson, I think Stack. We've made some really good acquisitions. You start going through these signings now that some of us have criticised, and rightly so at times, or a worry of ours have been this and this. When you look at it now, Stack looks a steal. Great player. Goodmanson, great. Longstaff, great. DCL, should have had a couple of goals, but he looks a great signing. Take those couple of missed opportunities out, which are going to happen for strikers. He is getting in all the right positions. The the way we can go along, and quality is a word that gets thrown around quite a lot, and Farke's thrown it around a hell of a lot with a lack of quality, right? And quality can get misinterpreted as in flair, step overs, bit of skill. Having quality in your position, in your role, it doesn't have to mean fancy football. Just being a quality player in your role. DCL is an absolute quality number 9 who can bring the ball out of the air. Yeah, there'll always be moments in the game where a loose pass or whatever, but he wins 9 times out of 10. He wins that first header. And he's so good at getting the right flick on or chest down or knocking it down and keeping possession from it. When you kick a ball long from defence or from the goalkeeper, that there you could say is a 50-50. You could say there's a high possibility that even if you win the first ball, the second ball goes to one of their players. A lot of the time, DCL's winning the ball and we're getting the second ball off that. And then we're attacking in their half and we've bypassed his defence and his midfield to a point. But then if you can have someone as good as DCL who can do all those things, you're winning the ball higher up the pitch. You've got less chance of conceding because you're not in your half trying to play out from the back, which at times yesterday we played out from the back and I thought we looked great doing it too. I really do. Carl Darlow again performed well. I thought Bournemouth showed their quality. I thought first half they looked very dangerous without creating anything cutting edge. I thought they were getting in pockets of space and getting behind as well, but that happens with good teams. It's no fault of Leeds United for me in that, just a good team. And I think what I learned massively from yesterday and at Fulham, although Fulham were just, bad luck, is this is a difference in level of where we've been. So there's been times in bar Arsenal every game this season where we've looked at certain parts of the game, it might be a 10-minute pocket or a 45-minute pocket at a time, where it was like we were still playing Championship football. When we're playing it on our terms, we look really good no matter who's playing against us. But I think this showed the quality of, if you don't take your chances, if DCL doesn't put away a couple of headers that he maybe could have put us 1 or 2 up, you can always get punished, even in the dying seconds, even the dying members of the game. That can happen, and rightly or wrongly, that's where we are. The competitive edge this side's got, I think the bit of quality we do have, which has been downplayed, I definitely think we've got more quality than Farke's mentioned, and some fans have thought, than even I've thought at times. We've got a lot of quality in that 11, especially. I'm really pleased, really pleased. Gutted, heart-wrenching moment, but overall, great points total so far, and we do not look like a side that's going to be threatened with relegation. A long time to go, yet a lot can happen, form can change, injuries can play a part. Farke's still got a lot to do, the players have still got a lot to do, but that football I saw yesterday was brilliant, and that's the team playing for the manager, playing for the plans, playing with confidence and playing brave football in an atmosphere at Elland Road that must be nervy. For a newly promoted side as we are, it's a great place, and if you're the right character, best place to play on earth. Got to be. Look how good Elland Road is. Even away fans, talk about it. How it's a great atmosphere, a great place to play. It's a heavy shirt, and I think we've got a side that we're proud of. We've got a side that can step up and play for that shirt, and there will be times I'll be negative. But I can't be negative at even, you can say, well, Strout should have got that header, or Aronson will laid on floor for that free. There's loads of bits. A goal, there's always something wrong for a goal to go in, technically. There's always something you can point at. It depends what side of the game you look at. But I'm going to look at it and go, these things happen. They're a quality opposition, but we matched them and we deserve the win. And if we are better on a day than Bournemouth, we are as good or can match Newcastle. We can beat Everton. We can hammer Wolves, who will go down, in my opinion. There's not to worry about, is there? I'll have plenty of ups and plenty of downs, and you'll be along for a ride with me, I know you will. But that was brilliant football yesterday, and I'm infused in what I see, and I think we all can agree we're not going to be getting relegated this season. It may be a chore at times. We may not play as well as we did yesterday at times. That's going to be the case. But boy, when it clicks, it's good football. That is good football. But yeah, that's sort of my 2 pence on it. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please like, please subscribe. And if do us a favour, if you haven't already this week, hype this video. Yeah, love you all. Have a great start to your week tomorrow. Take care. MOT.